we're doing a special event here called the Systems Builder event. And this came about through a series of people that have reached out to us. They're constantly reaching out saying, hey, Mark, hey, Cody, we know we want systems. We know that systems are important. We know that that's the way that it needs to be done, but we don't even know where to start. And it was like, well, let's figure out how we can maybe share the wealth of information that we've had and be able to really dig into some of your own businesses. So we sent out, for those that registered, we had what, 100 and...
It was quite a few.
Quite a few names that registered for the event. We sent out emails to everybody, hoping that they would reply back. And we did get several replies of what is the biggest challenge that you have in your real estate business. And what I found was there was kind of a big gamut of options based off of who they were, where they're at in their business, and what they want to accomplish in their business. So what we want to do today is just take a few of these, and some of them were just what we did is we sent out an invite to meet with us and take 10 minutes, 15 minutes to go over some stuff. We only had a couple people take us up on that, but we got lots of replies, and we're going to go through some of these. So as we go through these, what I really want you to think about is, in your business, what is your biggest challenge? And if you start thinking about what is that one biggest challenge in my business, start thinking about some of the things that we're going to show you here. How can that solve those problems? Because what I have found after 35 years of really helping real estate agents, I've helped tens of thousands of real estate agents with systems. What I have found is most of you have very similar challenges. So what we're going to do is go through that and show you how you can use some of these systems to be able to do the things that you want to do. So we're going to build the systems live. So on some of these, it's a matter of we've got limited time, so we're only going to be able to do parts of them, but we'll build as much of it as we can within a given time period for each person, trying to give enough examples to show you where to start. What is it that you're wanting to do in your business? So we're going to give fresh and immediate ideas, real world examples. I mean, honestly, these are things that came in from agents like yourself, and then also give some clear action steps to go through that. They say, as a husband and wife real estate team, one of our biggest struggles right now is keeping up with the steady stream of leads we get each week from our lead service. We talked about that earlier. It's exciting. It's exciting to see new opportunities come in, but it's overwhelming between juggling showings, inspections, closings, and our personal lives. It's easy for follow-ups to slip through the cracks. We've been talking about that. We start strong with new leads, but after a few days, the messages pile up and becomes hard to remember who we've contacted, who's still waiting, and for a reply, who's still waiting for a reply, and who's ready for the next step. We also noticed duplicate efforts. One of us will follow up, and some of the others have already talked to, or worse, neither of us have done, and both ashamed and assumed that the other had handled it. Our lead service is doing a great job of bringing in leads, but without clear systems to manage our flow, it feels like we're losing opportunities.
So Shawna and Tony, I want to pause, and this is not not like unique to you. This is something, this is actually why I'm hoping Mark can help you guys out. You guys are tuning in on the replay and I'm like focused directly at you. But for everyone else who's watching us live, who's attending the event, you've probably either experienced this or are currently experiencing this. It's little moments in your business that things are falling through the cracks. Maybe you're doubling up efforts. Maybe you don't have a good process in place. Once those leads get to you to actually facilitate them. And the reason I want to showcase this, Mark, is because this is like the textbook example for how routines can actually help inside your business.
Absolutely. Okay, so some of what we already talked about applies. So you might need to read between the lines a little bit there, but routines is what we need to focus on. The one thing I do want to, because you said you're bringing in leads from a lead source, just to make sure that you know, we can do this. Excuse me. In our integrations area, we've got lots of different integrations. One of our integrations is an email leads to SAM. What that does is that allows you to have a specific email address that you can send your leads to, and Sam will look at that email, look at the content of that email, and using AI, it will parse out, it'll get the information and automatically put that lead into the database for you. So you don't have to go in for your lead. I know a lot of people, they'll export their leads from some of the different lead providers and then import them as CSV files. That can be done, but you also have the ability, a lot of those lead providers have the ability to forward those leads to an email address. And if they do, have them CC or BCC, or, you know, just send it straight to Sam, and Sam will then be able to take that lead and automatically import it. And just like we did with our landing page, can automatically import it, automatically start the lead for you, so that then the routines, those follow-up routines that we kind of went over earlier, that they would kick in, and on your calendar every day, it's going to tell you this person needs to be called for this particular reason or whatever. So definitely use those. You know, automatically starting the routines on new leads is like the highest and best use of a routine, because you don't want to be trying to do this in your head at all. There's just too many. If you're getting lots of leads, trying to get that is a real bear. The other thing that I was thinking about, depending on how you do it, we do allow you to have, depending on the account size, we do allow you to have multiple email addresses to be able to bring in. But one of the things that we do in a routine, let me just pull up a, and I've got several of these in here. First time, well, let me just grab one of these. I do the same thing. So, you know, going back to a first time home buyer lead magnet type thing, similar type of thing, but it's going to be a little bit different. Whenever you're sending out your first email, it's going to be, you know, hey, you know, here's your information, whatever. And if you're using more than one niche, maybe it's a different demographic. So maybe you've got your first time home buyers demographic, you've got your move up home buyers where they're, you know, moving up to a bigger home, they've got a growing family, whatever. Maybe you've got some senior people coming in. Each time somebody requests information, you really should start a separate routine that focuses the information that they need for them in their own demographic. Sending something like a first-time home buyer email to somebody that's a senior that may be downsizing or something like that, you know, it's not a good experience unless they just happen to, you know, have family members that that are going through first-time home buyers, then it might apply a little bit. But really making sure that your content is focused in on who the receiver is. So that's important. One of the things that we do allow you to do is whenever you're sending content like this, you can just send straight, a single message to a single type person through a single routine. Or one of the things that we do have available, which may apply to you, who's it? Shawna and Tony, is we do have the ability to say, send a conditional message. And a conditional message can come in here and it can say, well, based off of the demographic, and the demographic is going to be different, different content for different people. You could go in there and say, well, if the demographic is a first-time buyer, I want to send them this template. If the demographic is a different type of buyer, say, for instance, they are maybe they're a move-up buyer or an investor or whatever, depending on that demographic field that's being filled out, you would send them a different template of information. Now, each one of these templates that we use would be very specific to them. We also have the ability to set up objectives, AI objectives, that says, take that template and massage it a little bit to that person so that it sounds more like what they need. So you can do some stuff like that as well. The problem with that is you do have to approve it before it goes out. So you may or may not want that, but if you pre-approve it, you can have it go out at whatever time. But that would be one thing that you could do if you're getting these too many leads. Make sure you're setting up routines, but if the routines are generic and you want to be able to kind of hone in on specific things that they're looking for, basically, using that conditional would be a great way of doing that. Putting them on the call list. We already talked about the call list piece. The other thing that would be very useful, I think, would be in the contacts area. Whenever you're in your contacts, going into your contact pipeline, and this is where as new leads come in, as you communicate with them, if you make phone calls or you send emails or whatever, then you can drag them into other milestones that they're at. So as you're basically moving them through your pipeline of things that they're doing. So I set my appointment with Polly. Once I meet with her, then I met with them, and then did I get the agreement signed? Yes, I did. So now they move on. And the thing about doing that is at each point of those are moments in time, just like everything else. And we have date fields that you can use to set up routines. So once the appointment is met, you meet at it and you got the signed agreement. Well, as soon as that agreement is signed, the date of that signed agreement is filled out, then it can start the routine for the signed agreement. So all of the things flow as you're doing them, and being able to see what each person is saying and doing, accessing notes. You can assign them to other things. Once they've closed, then you can put them into the closed category and they get off of the list. So all of these things work together as a very powerful way of bringing those leads in. So
yeah, so Shawna and Tony, what I would encourage you to do is pause right here, rewind to our first example when we were working with Jan, and you guys are going to see how Mark built out those lead magnets and then built out those routines. What that's going to help you guys do, almost fundamentally, it sounds like what's going on is you're having things fall through the cracks because we don't yet have those systems in place. So we can actually set up those routines to start taking care of a lot of what I like to call the low-hanging fruit messages. And what that's going to allow us to do is look up and out. We can focus on making more personal messages to each of the people. Now, inside the routine, that objective-based message that Mark showcased, that's going to allow you to do the personalization, because it's going to look at the contact. It's going to look at the information you guys have on that contact, and it'll actually adapt the template so that it's personal to that person. So that's really cool. But then you have to approve it. That's actually going to help you guys out, because when you have to approve it, either you or Tony is going to have to look at it and approve it. So I think if we start building these processes in, that's going to ensure that we're not missing any follow-ups, and we're actually able to keep those efforts strong even as messages pile up. Now, the other thing, Mark, that I would probably encourage would be for them to actually assign the specific activities to one person or the other in that routine. So in the routine, under each of those activities, Mark showcased you can select a team member. Well, we were showcasing that you can actually select roles as well. You guys could select different team members. So right now, Mark is the selected team member. Maybe he shifts it to myself.
Well, if it is a transactional piece or whatever, you can use party members as well. So let me just give you an example of that.
And so for the lead process, not really going to have party members. That's exactly where you can shift. But the example we used with Jose's team is we shifted to party members, which allows you to focus. So there's kind of a twofold approach that we can take to that. But what that's going to do is now we're assigning folks who is going to take ownership over this specific lead that's coming in the door, making sure these messages file up. I think that if I were to give you guys some advice on things to zoom in on, again, it's going to be building out those routines so things aren't falling through the cracks. Then once we have that, the other question is, gosh, who is actually going to handle this? If we start being a little focused with assigning those, we're going to have a lot of luck with that.
SAM is kind of my dream system. It's the things that I've always wanted to be able to build in, and now we have the ability to do it. I want to help you guys. So it takes time. Everything takes time. A lot of times people will buy something and just stick it under their bed. I don't want that to happen. I want you guys to be using this in your system, have it as your system that you use every day. Whether you do it yourself or whether you do it with us through Copilot. Our Copilot program has been phenomenal for the people that we've gone through. I've gotten a lot of really great input, and the people that go through that are getting their systems in place with help, with professional help. I've been doing this a long time, just like real estate agents are the professionals for selling houses. I'm the professional for helping you set up the systems to sell those houses. I can look at what you do and see what needs to be set up and what needs to be done. It's just a matter of taking it and doing it. You don't need to be struggling doing that. If you're struggling, you're doing it wrong. And this is what I do. This is what I enjoy doing, and helping the agents figure out what processes they have, what they need, and how to make them better is what my life calling has been. So
go ahead and take us up on that 30-minute one-on-one coaching session, and let's actually build your systems with you. For 30 minutes, you just have undivided attention of us. We're going to prove to you how SAM is the system that can do it. Or if for some reason you're like, Cody, you've already sold me, say less. We have the ability for you guys to get access to SAM. We start at $89 a month for a single user. You can enroll in the Copilot program. That's a $3,600 investment. That's a one-time investment for that 8-week program. And we'll actually cover the cost of your subscription during that 8-week program. And then it's just $89 after that. So that's pretty cool too. But the last thing I will say is reach out. My email is cody@workflowsecrets.info. I've been emailing you guys all this time. Just hit the little reply. Mark's is mark@workflowsecrets.info. And if you have any questions, any thing that you're just trying to juggle with or trying to think about after this event, that's an absolutely valid reason to reach out. If you thought the weather was really nice, reach out for that too. But either way, we're here for you guys, and we will be going live again very soon. But I just want to thank you guys for attending, for showing up. Jose, thank you so much for being a part of this. Hopefully you guys got some value out of that.